So, what am I going to recommend you have to do this job for replacing your springs? Well, you need a drill to drill out the rivets that hold in the little bars. You'll see me do that. You'll need a rivet gun and rivets. And I use backup plates. These are backup plates for the rivets to make them stronger. You need the right size drill. That's a 3/16 drill because that's the size rivets I'm using. Your rivet plates and your rivets will have numbers on them. Make sure you get the right size. You need a pretty good gun. I'm going to use a couple of blocks because that's how I put the bungees back on. And clamps are a big help in putting the blocks back on the end of the springs. You need some caulk, some good silicone caulk, lifetime, mold-proof, waterproof caulk. You need a pry bar, something to help you pry it out. A good long screwdriver is almost as good as the pry bar, and actually the pry bar is dangerous because you can do damage to your sidewalls and your roof with that, so be careful there. And then you need a set of springs, and these are actually my old ones that have come out, but these just they just pop in a hole and twist out and come out. But so let's get on with the job. The first piece of work to doing the springs is to drill out these two rivets. These two rivets hold this little aluminum bar inside. We're just going to drill these out. And all you're really doing is cutting the heads off them. And then they come off on the inside, you know. So there they are. The holes are clean. Clean of pop rivets anyways. And then on the inside, you open those up and that little bracket will fall out of there. Should be wearing gloves and safety glasses, of course. And that one comes off. And that's what happens if everything goes just right. The top of the rivet just comes off and it's on your drill. So it just comes off and you're clean. If it doesn't go right, then you have to pop them off somehow. So we have put the A-liner in position against the garage, and the lower back roof is up against the garage, held there by a 2x4 because I didn't want to open it past straight up. So that's not quite straight up, but it's a good way to do it, I guess. And we'll do the same on the front roof once we get these down. I've pulled out one spring, it just came right out. Now we got to do the other spring, which seems to be a little more stubborn. But since we popped the rivets, these were just sitting here, so we took these right out. And we are now playing with the spring, and it rotates in the hole pretty good, so that'll loosen it a little bit. And then we'll get this crowbar under it. Pop it out. Come on. Ugh. Here we go. Alright. I think actually, Believe it or not, the only thing holding this in there is a ton of caulk. But you can see it comes out. You wiggle it, it comes out. So there we have. The old screws are out. Now, put the new screws in. Now, you'll notice the old spring had red on the end. This one does not have red on the end, so it's not the right spring because it goes the wrong way. So you got to make sure you get the right springs. Here it is, the red one. Too many springs here. This is the one I took out. So match them up. They're the same. Now we're going to put this in here in a little hole. Tap it down ever so gently. Now you can see that this spring has a lot more push to it. We got to put our cap back on it, which will go out here like this, and then this. Got to get that down there though. Got to get down into the saddle. Now we got to pop rivet this little bar into where it belongs. Okay, so now we're reinstalling the springs. And we got to put these on the ends, and these were pop riveted in through these holes that I had to drill out the pop rivets. But these holes are now too big for the normal rivet size. So we're going to re-drill new holes. We're just going to turn this 90 degrees and put new holes so the pop rivets that I have actually fit and work for these. So if you have the same trouble, we went looking for pop rivets that'll fit these half-inch holes, and they won't work. So we're just going to drill new holes because there's 3 sides that are clear. So we'll do that. Okay. Now we do the pop rivet gun. Pop rivet gun. Why is it way over here looking at me? Why would it want to look at me? Okay. Better. Much better. Get in there. Thank you. Now, there. That's a little better. Now we'll see if the clamp can come on. Okay. All right, come on. Tractor wheels. Yeah, tractor wheels. Tractor wheels, tractor wheels. Okay, both together and go down. Uh-huh. Now we're doing the front roof. We've got the back roof kind of held down because it springs right up with the new springs. I need the clamp, Kyle. Okay. We found a snag here, and that I don't have a clamp big enough to go over this wide part of this. So I'm going to have my faithful assistant here push on this. Push. Lay down. Okay, so we have clamped a little thing in there using a 2x4.
Find room for it.
Here's two. So we don't have a clamp that'll span that distance. So I cut a 2x4 to the perfect length to kind of go between the roof aluminum extrusions. And so it's kind of wedged in there, and it's holding that little square against the roof. And now I can drill and tap it in with the pop rivets. Have to make sure it's tight against the back. Seems to be. I think you smell like a female. Yeah. Why did that do that? And these springs are done. Now to put the bungees back in place, and my bungees are in great shape. I'm not going to replace them because it's just not necessary. They're in real good shape. They have good spring to them. They're not frayed or broken in any area. So I'm just going to use the same bungees I had on there. Now I've cleaned up the bungee anchor. Originally the bungee anchor here is covered in caulk, so I've cleaned that up. Sorry, it's gonna not focus, but I've cleaned that up, and you can see the bungee laying there, and guess what, the bungee doesn't reach unless it's stretched, and it's a real bear to stretch that bungee and screw it down and caulk it all at the same time. So what I do is I clamp it in place, and I'll show you how. So now the bungee goes all the way past the anchor point, and I can work with it because this is tight up here. So now the bungee goes in there like that, and that's how I will put it in there. Put caulk all around the screw holes, and all around that. Now you got to put the screws in the holder first, because the bungee's got to go around the screws. So then, put the bungee around the screws like that. And then line them up and put them in their holes. Down, add a little caulk to the outside. Make sure it's not going to hold water. And you're done. Bungees are in place. The roof is ready. Now we'll do the other side. This is how I've got that clamp. You see how I've got that clamp? Because it's not really deep enough to go all the way to the roof. I have to have that 2x4, just a little scrap 2x4 is all that is. And that just holds the upper piece of wood against the top. So, and that's what we'll do here. Same thing. The big trick is getting that bungee so it's clamped and stretched. And I take my arm out and the bungee is stretched and loose. So I can do it on there. That's easy. Easy peasy. And again, I put that around my elbow and held it back with my elbow and then held these in place. And that worked easy. And I recommend doing the screws a little bit each so they go down even. And you'll see all that caulk start to squeeze out all over the place, but that's all right, that's what it's for. And I say snug. I don't say tight. I say snug. And then if you want to make the caulk look a little nicer, you rub it around with your finger. Make sure the screws are sealed. Make sure that everything's sealed. And you're done. And easy peasy. So folks, that's the easy way to do the bungee cords, and the springs. Springs are a lot easier than I thought they would be. It helps to have somebody or something to lean the trailer on. We pushed it up with 2x4s. I think the best thing to push it up with would be a Swiffer. If you use a Swiffer, you got a clean Swiffer to push up the roof with, so it can go against something. You don't want it to go farther than just a little past straight up, because it will break the hinge and do damage. I also notice something I noticed is that the springs go in a certain direction based on how they filled the hole. And my springs are not straight, and I know there's a lot of discussion on the internet about whether the springs should be straight or not, and whether people try to straighten them. But let's look at this for a minute. My spring is not straight across, and the reason for that is because of the saddle it sits in on the sidewall and the direction of the hole. When I put that spring in that hole, it took that turn. So that's because they fill it with caulking and glue and adhesives, so that that's a set. That's not something I can change without taking a 12-inch drill and re-drilling that inside. And I'm not sure it's going to make a lot of difference. It's set there and it's not going to go anywhere. In the saddle, in the sidewall, if I was to try to push it, it doesn't have room in the sidewall. I'd have to take the spring out and grind that saddle down so it had more room for the spring to turn, because it just sits there like that. And both of mine are like that. So there's the other one, and it's the same thing. That hole, when they throw that in there, it makes a set. If the spring is just a little different or a little wide, then it comes in, and you know, it's not looking straight across, it's looking at us. However, if this is soft wood, and these just come off, I'm told. Well, that's when we were in the factory, these were just popped on there, these 2 screws and caulking. If your wood's solid, your springs are fine. If you got leaks in here that come down inside and get into the wood, or in here that get into the wood, then you've got rot, and this whole panel's got to be replaced. But I don't think the springs are the problem there. I think that's another problem altogether, that your springs are going to show the issue sooner or later. So I think that's our Aliner project for this weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you learned something from that. Hope that took the fear away from doing it if you had trouble with yours. And I'm amazed. I am quite amazed at how easy it is to put my roof up now with the new springs. Before I had to get inside the trailer and push up the roof from both sides using strength. And I'm getting old and I don't want to really use that much strength, but now I can one-handed open it from the outside, the wrong side. I don't even have to get in. I can just open it up, so it's real nice. So, thanks for stopping by. We're going to be traveling the next week. I don't know what I'll be able to do for videos. Stay tuned. Don't leave me. It's going to have a lot of information about what's going on in life. I got major life change going on. The house is for sale. Everything in it's for sale, although we probably won't sell everything. And we're going to embark on a new journey. So if you've ever been laid off, fired, terminated, lost your job for whatever reason, stick with me. Maybe I'll give you some ideas on how to survive. All right, folks. Thanks for coming. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.